Hello, hello. Welcome. And we are going to, well, we're going to talk about the firmament throughout this live stream. But something else that I know you just have a black screen right now, but we'll be changing that. So, if you read the description, there's some things found in the Bible that people, you know, some people have the idea that they're not found in the Bible, but we can go through them. Some of these ideas are like the idea of low Earth orbit, like something circling above the Earth in the sky. That's definitely in the Bible. We'll look at that in a minute. The idea of zero G or like free fall, that's in the Bible. The physics of the solar system, and notice physics is in quotations because no one goes in the solar system. That's they send rockets up and they got the space station and all this other jazz, but that to me, the solar system has nothing to do with the Earth. We have the sun, and that kind of gives us our daily cycle. The sun does, because it goes around and comes back, right? And so some of these things we're going to talk about, a lot of it actually, so this might take a second, or might be a second. What I should do too is let's see, 7 planets, we'll find them in the scriptures, and flying vehicles with men riding on them that are super loud too, so loud that they shake the heavens. So we might be able to see something like that in our world today. And then I'm actually going to share a channel with you guys that he just put out a documentary thing, and it's a very unique channel, and I'll share that with you eventually. But first, let's ask a question about the firmament. And when you're thinking about these questions about the firmament, like what is the firmament, or can men get into the firmament, or because Jesus said no man can ascend into heaven, but he that came down from heaven. So what I think is, if we're careful not to add like our society's ideas and put our mindset to where these prophets where or try to anyway put our mindset to where these prophets were. Okay, here we go. Let's just check this out. I think I got it right here. Okay, sorry. So the question I ask is, can men get through the firmament of heaven? Can men break out of this world into the heavenly realm? What does it sound like when something breaks through the firmament? Anything that's ever broken through the firmament is going real fast. So fast that it happens and we can see a meteor or whatever come in with our eyes, and it's like a light streak. And then it takes some time for the sound of it to get down to the ground, because sound only travels so fast. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Since December of 2015, there's been a machine that men have built that appears to do the same thing as a meteor does. The sound comes after, like this.
Yeah, there they are. Coming in like meteors, real fast. They're going to do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down.
There they are.
Double sonic booms.
Okay, I'm pausing this. This is a video that I made a while back that we're watching right now, but I paused it because, okay, in the video right here where it's kind of showing about like what a sonic boom happens when something is going so fast that it moves faster than the sound itself can move. So it creates, like, I don't know, they think they understand it all, and there's like a pressure wave or whatever, and I don't think it's explainable with just like our physics. Like, that's not what's happening. We're not understanding something. If you understood how loud this is too, this also is in the Bible. These loud noises, shaking the heavens. The powers of the heavens will be shaken. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. Here we go.
Woohoo! 2 down. Beautiful landing.
Do I really have to pause it again? I want to point out another thing. What did we just watch? I'm going to rewind it. I want you to notice something. There's a popular book in the Bible called the Book of Revelation. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ. So it's a book that whose contents come from heaven, from Jesus in heaven. That's the context of the Book of Revelation. It's his testimony. So I think, to me, that's one of the most important books that I've ever read, is the Book of Revelation. Even if I don't understand it, it doesn't even say that you're going to understand it. It says, let's look at that real quick, let's just watch this, because I want to show you something about the Book of Revelation.
Yeah, there they are. Coming in like meteors, real fast. They're going to do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down.
Sorry for the it's a little skipping, but 2 candles coming down, this guy says. And let's look. I wonder if I can do this. Yes, it worked. Okay. I'm not going to get into this. I'm just mentioning it. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of this man. Or you could say, in the sight of the dude that's saying, 2 candles coming down. Okay? We're watching this. We're living in this time that these things, I mean, it appears that they're happening. Because John is a prophet that wrote the Book of Revelation. Let me show you one thing about the Book of Revelation, though. The reason why I think this book is awesome. I mean, like, one of the most awesome books that I think a person could read. It says, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So John is the guy that wrote the book. Who bear the record of the word of God. So he's hearing the word of God. It says, and of the testimony of Jesus Christ, and of all things that he saw. So it's a vision. So he was being shown things, and he's writing them down. And then here's what it says, though. This is why I think it's very important. Because first of all, it's of the testimony of Jesus Christ. And then it says, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." So I don't think that's saying we're going to understand everything in this book ever. But I do think that we can hear the words of this prophecy. I think especially us, like in the time that we're living in, I think we can really hear these words. And they really probably have more meaning than they've ever had before, the words in this book. So back to our video. Sorry about that little. I just want you guys to understand that we're seeing these things, and I'm not saying that I understand it all or that I know it, that this is what it is. I'm saying that I'm trying to take you on a journey to give you perspective. That's all. So you can understand something that you may have not thought about very much or whatever. It's like it's new to me. Like it's these some of these ideas are new to me. Low Earth orbit in the Bible. We'll get to that. So let's see here. Sorry, I got to get back. I don't know how to use this stuff very good. Okay, so here we're watching, and if you pay attention to, they've landed 250 of these boosters by now, or maybe a little more. What I think is important to understand is that the world thinks that this is this very thing, being able to land a rocket to make it reusable, is the only way that we could ever afford to expand into the universe or into the solar system or whatever. Going to the stars, to dwell among the stars. That's another thing that's in the Bible, many places in the Bible. People wanting to dwell in the stars. Lucifer is it's Luciferian to want to dwell in the stars, with the stars, because that's what Lucifer says. He said it in his heart, "I will ascend into heaven." So there, right there, what does rocket do? What, like the whole idea of a rocket, or anything going into low Earth orbit or the solar system. This is the same as the Tower of Babel. They wanted to build a tower that reached up to heaven. And you know what? I don't care if this ends up being a few minutes, this live stream, because I'm just opening other tabs as I think of this stuff. We're going to look at the book of Jasher real quick. I want to show you guys something. Like, if I said to you that in the book of Jasher, something like satellites or telescopes, like space telescopes, that it's pretty much mentioned in the book of Jasher during the Tower of Babel, they had this thing in their heart that they wanted to do. We're going to look at it right now, or I'll just read it. I don't want to switch back and forth and everything because I'm not good at that. So chapter 9, it's talking about Nimrod. And so here it says, I haven't looked at this for a while. Okay, it says, and the Lord, oh no, that's way too far. Okay, let's see. So they all got together and they wanted to build a tower that reached to heaven. Where is it? And they began to bake bricks and burn fires and build the city and the tower that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it, and while they were building against the Lord God of heaven, because it's important to understand that God is in heaven. That's his throne. God, our creator, laid claim to the heavens. And he said, the earth is my footstool. The heaven is my throne. So if we want to go up to the heavens, it's against the Lord God. That's what I'm trying to say. So But this is, I guess I'll bring you over to the page because I think I just have to click one button. Yeah, okay. So verse 25, and the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it, and whilst they were building against the Lord God of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. The shirt that I think Elon Musk made or something, and it says, what is it about? It says something about Mars. Like, I'll think of it. You guys have seen it. It's like conquer Mars or something, but that's not what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the idea of going to be multiplanetary species. That's all coming from Elon Musk. But so it says, and all these people, verse 26, and all the families divided themselves in three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, now listen to this one, guys. This second one is the one I said pretty much mentions the idea of satellites or things for communications or for weather or anything that's up in low Earth orbit or orbiting. Okay. It says, and the second said, we will ascend to heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. Just think about that. They wanted to have satellites. They wanted to possess the heavens as the same as the real estate or whatever on the earth. They wanted to take the, and that's really what we're trying to do with anything having to do with space or anything having to do with any of that. But the third, let's see, it said, the third part said, we will ascend to heaven and smite him with bows and spears. Wait a minute. If you stood back and watched a rocket launch, it would kind of look like a spear, wouldn't it? And if you're going right up at God, yeah. So I just wanted to show you that, but we're going to click back to this video and play a little bit more of it. I figured this would be a good video because this is real. I'm not saying that like the idea of space and orbits and everything. I think it's all real, but I think it's misidentified in a horrible way, and we call it outer space or whatever. That's not what it is in the Bible. And there's some people that already understand the idea of space or the solar system, like where they say they have low Earth orbit or anything out of the Earth, that it's a bottomless place. There is no bottom once you're there. Once you're there, you're falling perpetually. That you will never reach the bottom once you go there. And so we'll talk about that a little bit in this video too. And also the idea of the firmament. Water is a good example. Like just the concept of throwing, a baseball at the water. Like if you just threw it straight down at the water, right? The water's going to slow the baseball down, right? And what would happen if you could send it 1,000,000 miles an hour, a baseball at the water? The baseball would disintegrate once it hit the water. And it would probably make a big splash too. But the water is hard. But it's not hard like glass is hard. But it is hard. So if something's moving really fast and hits it, it's very hard. And that's what anything that's falling from out of the earth into the earth, it's that same concept. The air that we breathe is thick, and it as you get closer, as you get from the surface, as you go up, the air gets thinner and thinner. If you've ever climbed a mountain, hiked up the side of a mountain, as you go up, if I think I was at 12,000 feet once on a hike, and it's excruciatingly hard to breathe. It's just horrible. It feels just weird to you're just not getting enough air. And but you're breathing. It's just really strange feeling. It's exhausting feeling. It like you have a hard time holding your head up. But because there's not air, we need the air to breathe. So as these things come back in, there's a lot of it's basically like throwing a baseball at water. Or I mean, there's probably other examples that are better than that, but at high speeds, that's why that's why we see, like, when something does come from there. I've seen meteors with my own eyes, or we call them meteors. I don't know what they are, but the Testament of Solomon seems to say that they're actually demons falling, they can only stay up so long because they don't have a firm foundation in the heavens, like the sun and moon. Just like the earth has a foundation. It's interesting to think of things this way. All right, sorry guys, I'm talking too much.
Double sonic booms. Two down, beautiful landing. And I see two standing. Perfect.
Yes, Chemtrail Cowboy says this is a much better than mine was. Much better. A bullet slows its trajectory and ricochets when you shoot at water. Like if you shoot at water, I mean, I'm sure the bullet even probably like gets compressed a little bit, depending on how fast it's going. But I don't know that. That's a great. That's much better than mine was, because bullets, like, that's more like how a spacecraft would come back into the Earth, is like 10 times the speed of a bullet. So it's like even more extreme, you know. But that is a great analogy. And here's another thing that I want to tie. That the concept is found in the scriptures, and it's found in our world now with technology and all this space stuff. Is the idea of a bottomless pit of darkness, an abyss of darkness, a deep sea. Because in the Bible, there's waters above. We don't have to know anything about, like, the physics of what's up there to believe that there's waters above, heavenly waters. I don't know if that's the same as the earthly waters. There's waters. It almost sounds like, in Genesis, it almost sounds like the whole world is surrounded by water. And let's look at a verse real quickly that describes a little bit of this. Psalm 18. This is pretty cool. So the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. There went up smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. This talking about God, okay? It says he bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. That's found in Genesis, right at the beginning of the Bible. It says the earth was without form and void, and there was darkness upon the face of the deep. Darkness upon the face of the deep. That word deep, I looked at that word, and that's like a deep sea abyss. So the abyss doesn't have to be beneath us. And this I've learned because, well, let's look at this. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. Okay, he flew. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. I believe that. I don't know what the dark waters are, or like how they taste, or what, how thick they are. I don't know anything about the dark waters other than that God's his pavilion around him is dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. So this is why sending a rocket up into the anywhere seems, with this point of view that I've been able to see, it's Luciferian. It's doing what Lucifer has in his heart to do. It's specifically that. I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Whose throne is above all the stars of God? God's throne is. So Satan's saying he's going to go there and be in God's throne. Has he done that? And this is this desire to move out into the solar system. I just look at the Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. So the channels of the waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me. Okay, so, I just think that some of these descriptions are very important. Dark waters, there's dark waters in the skies, guys. There is. And maybe we call it, maybe they think it's, what do they call it? A near vacuum or whatever, a nearly perfect vacuum. But I just don't think that that's what it is. I think it's something that's not terrestrial, but something celestial that they're trying to do. So they're trying, and in my thoughts, the spiritual world. I'm sure there's spirits that are here on the earth, but the celestial world seems to be a different nature. Like stars are lights. Who do you know that walks around on the earth that's a light? You know what I'm saying? This is a different world up there. It's the heavens, and so they're trying to cross over when they go into low Earth orbit, because that's really literally they go sideways. They have to go sideways until they're going fast enough that I think that they've found, or they've been given a key to this bottomless pit, which we find in Revelations, in the book, I mean, of Revelation. Anyway, let's look at that later. I want to go back to this video quick. Okay, so the sound. Pay attention to the sound. They're very, very much the same. This video, this meteor thing that it was in Russia in, I think, 2013, and this was this was crazy. I wasn't there, but the videos are crazy.
Double sonic booms.
There are the twin sonic booms. Landing legs out deployed. Landing legs up deployed.
That's so cool.
One touchdown confirmed. Landing operators moving to left touchdown.
That's ridiculous.
Second Baruch, chapters 36 through 40. And when I had seen these things, I Oh, thanks, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew I was gonna do that too. I muted my mic instead of muting on the stream, which I probably shouldn't do. Okay. Let me start this over. I apologize. Okay, this is Zechariah 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So he's with an angel, Zechariah is. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. We'll keep reading and get a little better idea, but this is important. This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. I would have to say that, wouldn't it be Sputnik that was the first thing that ever went over the face of the whole earth? Isn't that just low Earth orbit that this angel's describing as a curse? For everyone that stealeth, just remember what we were talking about, the Tower of Babel. What did they want to do? They want to take the heavens for their own. They want to lay claim on God's throne, okay? And it was a transgression and a sin that they were building that tower. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. So that's kind of backwards, isn't it? It's not backwards, but it'll enter the house of the thief. Rather, maybe the thief would usually enter someone else's house, but this will enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. That doesn't sound good. This curse that goes over the face of the whole earth. What is it? Satellite TV? What is it? Satellites? the space telescope, the space station. What is it? Well, you know what's interesting is 20 cubits and by 10 cubits. Let's just do a little investigation here, just for fun. In feet. Okay. I see. Okay, so 30 feet by 15 feet. Let me just show you guys something interesting. Let's look at SpaceX Dragon. Because, you know, there is a dragon in the heavens in the book of Revelation. Let's just look at this real quick, just for fun. I don't know how this... Oh, no. Add to stage. Hey, there's two of me here. Okay, that didn't work very well. My computer, it said it's low on memory, so I didn't do very good there. All my tabs are gone. But can you guys? Let me just. Can you guys? Okay, thanks, Tony. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I was here. So, man, okay. So this curse that we were previously looking at, I don't have anything open now. So, let's see here. Let me see if I can get that video back. And like, I don't have any programs running.
So the question
really.
I ask is,
Okay, we got it.
can men...
So hopefully this works. If it doesn't, if you guys lose me again, I will should be able to come right back on, but it's probably going to eventually be a problem. But let's go full screen and find where we were. So this sound that's made, this loud noise that when you know, like when they launch a rocket, you have to be very far, like many miles away from it, or you die, because the sound would literally shake your body apart. Okay, then okay, so that's when I was reading Baruch 36 through 40, which we're not. Oh, where was that? See that right there? That's just like an illustration of what happens when something's coming back into the earth. It gets hot, super hot. And so they have to have like a heat shield, and they have to like orient the vehicle just perfectly, and they have to come in at the right angle and everything. Because it's, look at that. Okay, so what is that? That's a rocket launch. That's probably a Falcon 9, it looks like. And now they're building these big Starship things, and they're launching them, these things. Oh yeah, then we got all this. Okay, so I'm just fast forwarding through this to show you. But if you want to read Baruch 36 through 40, it's quite an interesting read. Or you can, you know what? I have this video on my channel. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called "The Firmament So Hot Right Now." Okay, let's see if. Okay, we got Enoch 57. That's what I was looking for. These things are in the book of Enoch too. Check it out. And in those days, the angels shall return, and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse them from their thrones, that they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among their flocks. And they shall go up and tread under foot the land of his elect ones. Okay, I just want... this is from the book of Enoch, chapter 56. He's talking about when the angels return. And it says, they will go up and tread underfoot the land of his elect ones. Where's the promised land? Isn't that New Jerusalem, the kingdom? Jesus is coming, and he's going to hit the city of his God is going to come down out of the sky. And there, he said that people who overcome would be pillars in that temple, in that place, in that city. They'd be pillars. But anyway, they'll tread underfoot the land of his elect ones, these fallen angels. This is Enoch telling us what will happen, and here we are watching it happen. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons, and men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the east, and from the west to the south. And the... Okay, so I'm just kind of going over this. This is Enoch chapter 57. He saw wagons, or I've seen another one that said chariots, with men riding on them, and they were coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. So Enoch saw men riding on these things, and listen to what he says about it. This is what's crazy. Let's see, I got to go back just a little because I cut it off. Okay, Enoch describes the sound they're making. And from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place.
That's ridiculous.
And the sound thereof was heard from one end of heaven to the other in one day.
Double sonic booms.
Okay, now, the noise that these things were making, Enoch said that it moved the foundations or the pillars of the earth out of their place. So, in the book of Enoch, earlier in the book of Enoch, in chapter 18, he describes, because the angels were showing him stuff, and he describes seeing the treasuries of all the winds. And he mentions the foundations of the earth. And listen to what he says. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation, and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth, and the firmament of the heaven. There's the foundations. The four winds, they bear, that means to hold up or to support. They bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. So, like, I would tend to think that a foundation's always underneath something, like in our world anyway, right? Like you build a foundation so you can build a good building. So I would think that it would be like holding it up, just like Enoch's describing, but he's saying that it's the winds holding it all up. So, and he said that God furnished the whole creation with the four winds. But so that was interesting. But then he mentions the winds of heaven, which this is also awesome information. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. And I saw the winds of heaven which turn, and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the path of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. That's like poetic or something to me. That's like how that's worded is just beautiful. That's Enoch chapter 18 verses 1 through 5. He describes all these different winds. I like how he describes basically like the idea of the heavens being like an ether or whatever, like some sort of weird medium that's nothing like the earth, because but it like affects things on the earth big time. But it's like he said something about the winds of heaven which turn. He said, I saw the winds of heaven which turn. And we all know, like, if you look at like star trails or something, photography like that, that's what the heavens do. They turn. So that's awesome. Oh, I guess it's to be continued. That was the end of that video. That video is on my channel, and it's called The Firmament. So hot right now. Okay, so we're just gonna... I'm not gonna try to do a desktop share or anything, because I did have my program that was running, and it shut that one down, and it seems to be working here. So I'm not going to be able to do screen share, but I will read the verses I wanted to. Okay, when it cut out, we were looking at SpaceX Dragon. That's what it was. Zechariah said it was 20 cubits, 20 by 10 cubits or something. And I looked it up, and it was like 30 by 15 feet, I think it said. And the SpaceX Dragon capsule, like really close to that size. I think it's just a foot or two or something different. Just like the Dragon, itself, I don't know what they call that, but the Dragon capsule. Anyway, so that was interesting that they had the size of one of these space vehicles, basically. So I'm going to look up Daniel chapter 7, which is one of my most favorite chapters, in the Bible, because of the story that happens in the chapter. It's the time when Jesus comes, and the kingdom is taken. The saints take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever. And it's like such a cool description, but I wanted to show you something. Do you guys remember the space shuttle? What do you guys have on your screen right now? Let's see here. Oh, I don't want that on there. People think it's over when they come. Okay, let me... Yeah, I can't do this. Or wait, can I do a screen share on the program here? Present. Share screen. Oh, this is going to be sweet if this works. Is easiest with 2 monitors. Yeah. I don't know which screen you're going to get. Daniel 7. Oh, awesome. What do I got to do? Click it. Yes. Okay, that's sweet, because I can use the streaming software that I'm using, so I don't have to... Okay, I need to learn this stuff better. Okay, so check this out, though. Okay, you guys know the space shuttle. It was the space shuttle, and it had like 135 missions or something like that. And it basically built the space station that's up there. I mean, it built the basic platform, and it's been changed. It's been up there 25 years now, they say. Now, I think that there's something so sinister going on. Like like fallen angel sinister going on, because there's descriptions of this stuff in these scriptures. So Daniel 7, or no, I wanted to show you one little thing in Daniel 8. Remember in Zechariah 5, he said there's a curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. Well, I want to show you what Daniel in this vision that he had after the vision of Daniel 7. He saw something coming. Look at this. And he described it as a he-goat. So a goat. But just remember, Daniel, there was no kind of anything like a motor or anything like that, or a rocket engine or anything like that when Daniel would have lived. So you got to think of his descriptions as being his descriptions of the think of the things that existed when he was describing this. So no matter what he was seeing, but I think it's important because I think God is speaking through his prophets. I think that the prophets are like giving their testimony, and I think that if we have the right ears, we can hear their testimony and see the things that they're describing with some clarity. I want to show you just an example or a couple examples of some of that. So in this vision, he says, and as I was considering, this is verse 5, behold, that means to see. So he's seeing something. He's describing it. A he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth. What could he be describing? Well, obviously a he-goat. It says it came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Okay, let me try to show you something. We're going to try to look at that SpaceX Dragon. I think this is right when my computer killed the last time. Okay, oh, look at sending humans and cargo into space. That's kind of what the Tower of Babel people did. That's what they said in their hearts. The same thing. It was against God. Look at 43 launches against God. 38 visits to the ISS, which is probably Satan's exalted throne. Think about it. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I'm here to tell you that God's throne is in heaven, and it's very real. There's this dark place that they claim to go to. They have the ability to go to. They found it somehow by going really fast. But let's look at this. Here's the dragon. Let's just look at the size really quick. Okay, so remember the cubits of Zechariah that was 30 feet by 15 feet? Look at the height of this is 26.7 feet, and the diameter is 13 feet. Isn't that interesting? Those are like okay, so this is 2 feet smaller in diameter, and it's 3.3 feet smaller than. So Daniel described a slightly bigger vehicle, slightly bigger, the flying roll. So, and this is a dragon. Yes, this is a dragon. Oh wait, look. Almost looks like he has a notable horn between his eyes if you kind of look at it. And he kind of looks like a... hold on. I'm just like forgetting about this. Look at this. What's a he-goat look like? Whoops. What does a he-goat look like? No way. Let's look at this. They have two horns, it looks like, but this one had a notable horn between his eyes. Okay. Just look at it. To me, it sort of does resemble a goat. Just saying. Doesn't it? A little bit. With a notable horn between his eyes? I don't know. Oh, no, you guys, what happened? You don't have my... I'm not sharing anymore? What did I do? Oh, I'm sharing Daniel's screen. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I have to... If I make a new screen, I have to reshare it. Or I have to do a new screen. I think that I'm learning. Okay, they're up here, yeah. I'm so sorry. So this was the SpaceX Dragon. See, it's 26.7 feet tall, 13 feet in diameter. So there was that page, and then so now I have to do stop sharing. Or wait, view tab. Oh wait, stop sharing, and then I'm going to show you the next screen. Oh, here you go. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm not saying. Just think of the time when Daniel was alive. He compared it to something. He's gonna just like it looked like something. I don't know, but it had a notable horn between his eyes. So I won't try to open so many tabs. Sorry about that, guys. Let me do something here. Okay, I'm gonna close as much stuff as I can so I don't lose the. Okay, so you guys weren't even seeing Daniel 8, were you? But anyway, this thing was coming on the face of the whole Earth. That's like in low Earth orbit. It wasn't touching the ground. This goat. So. Oh, let's just look at. Let's just look at this real quick. I don't know. That's not a very clear video, but do you guys see this? The shockwave? It looks like it's punching through like a layer of water. It's weird. And that's supposedly a shockwave. I think probably when it goes the speed of sound or whatever. So anyway, man, that little glitch that happened really screwed up my. I had a bunch of tabs open I wanted to look at. Oh, yeah, we looked at Enoch. Oh, okay. So Enoch, sorry, described seeing the solar system. I wanted to show you that. It's in the same chapter that he talked about the winds in Enoch chapter 18. So let me share my screen over there. Share screen. Man, you gotta click a lot of buttons. Share. All right. Book of Enoch chapter 18. So this is a crazy place he goes, and it happens to be an abyss. Like in verse 11. Actually, let's look at verse 10. Look at this. And beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed. So when I hear it that way, the heavens were completed, and then the earth was there. Like, it seems like, I mean, that could just be in the sky, quite a bit high in the sky. I don't know. But there's that would be the firmament or something. There's a place where it's earth, and then that's the end of it. And then there's a place where there's the end of the heaven, and heaven. So that's just depending on how we look at it. But verse 11, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall. So there's that fire falling, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. I wish I had a video. Maybe we can just. No, I can't. I don't want to screw up my computer, give it too much work to do. I think I have a video on my channel called "What the Hell," and it's in the video. If you want to watch it, feel free. But in the video, It's Chris. What's his name? One of the astronauts, and he's talking about photography, and like he's answering a question. Zulu One's in the house. Good to see you, brother. And let's see here. Let's go back to Enoch. I don't want to get too far gone, but so what he's talking about photography, and he says that it's like he says it's different when you're trying to take a picture in space or whatever, because he goes, he said it's a bottomless pit of deep black, so dark or so black that it almost has a texture to it. This is what he says. And then there's another astronaut that said that the Earth is this island in an endless sea of or what did he say? Or no, he said in a dark abyss. That's what he said, a dark abyss. And another astronaut says that when he looks at the Earth, that he sees life, and it's surrounded by death, darkness, death. So what I'm saying is the astronauts, the ones that claim to go there, they describe it as a bottomless place, and physics, quote unquote, celestial physics, if there's even such a thing, describes the same thing. And like there's a videos, they're called Big Think or whatever on YouTube, and Michelle Thaler, who's like a NASA scientist or whatever, she describes it as perpetual falling. Anything in the solar system. Okay, let me give you an example. Right now, supposedly, everyone on Earth is being held down by gravity, but oh man, it's just so dumb, some of these things. Okay, but since we're orbiting the sun, that the Earth itself is actually in a state of perpetual free fall around the sun, orbiting around the sun. Anything that's in the solar system is on a perpetual free fall course around a larger body, or whatever the center of their gravity is, or whatever. So really, they're making a fantastical way to just describe a physical place like beneath us, beneath our feet, as being in the sky. And whether or not it is, that's the only... Zulu One says, LOL, gravity. Exactly. That's just what we were raised calling it. But really, the simplicity of it is there's an up for everyone, and it's the same direction. And there's a down for everyone. It's not towards the center of anything. It's actually a direction. There's down and there's up. Anthony, good to see you. I saw you earlier over at Here's the Deal. But yeah, I just think... Oh, Franklin Watson, good to see you. I always love your comments. Enoch knew of Sprite Lightning that we only noted when Russia recorded it. Yep, it's like the prophets knew about everything before we do. Like, yeah, let's look at... I don't want to get off track, but I just love reading your guys' comments. So... Verse 12 says, beyond that abyss, I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. So it's like a place that didn't have a foundation, right? And it didn't have a firmament. When I was talking to Sean Griffin from Kingdom in Context, he described it, I think, he used a word that I wasn't in my, my normal lingo, but the way he said it was a perfect description. I think he said it's the extremity, like it's not part of, it's outside of It's like outer, that Jesus called it outer darkness. So I just think it's interesting. But there was no water upon it and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. So look what he sees there. I saw there 7 stars, like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this place, oh, sorry, my phone's going off here. This place is the end of heaven and earth. So there it is. It's the end of heaven and earth. Wouldn't that be the firmament? That's the firmament, guys. It's the end of heaven and earth. And actually, the firmament is heaven. That's right in Genesis 1. He called the firmament heaven. And even our sky is called heaven. But, I mean, maybe that's like limitations to words. And I don't think it probably matters too much specifically how many feet heaven is. You know what I mean? We don't know that. We don't know that. This place is the end of heaven and earth. But look what the angel tells him. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. So he saw 7 stars in a prison at the end of heaven and earth. And then it says, and the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. So he bound these stars rolling over a fire. Let's just think about what the solar system looks like. They say, oh, there's 8 planets because of the Earth. But guys, the Earth is the part we live on. It's the part underneath us. It's not in the sky. The solar system's in the sky. Not the Earth, though. So there are 7 stars that we call planets. So why do we call them planets? Where does that word come from? Well, planeo. Let's do a little investigation. I know I got to do the screen. I'm not good at that, but I'm going to open up Jude. Okay, because this word, it comes up in the book of Jude, and it's quite interesting. Oh, it's not giving me the... hold on, I'm sorry, guys. I wanted Bible Hub. There we go. Okay, now I'll share the screen. Or I'll stop the screen. Present. Share screen. Oh, don't show these tips again. Good. That's why I had to click so many buttons. Sorry. KJV Bible Hub. Now I hope I can open this page, and I'm going to have to do the screen share again. I think I am. Or no, you guys can see it? Jude 1? Okay, so let's just look at this word, planets or whatever. I don't know if it's in the KJV, maybe. Wandering stars. It's right there. Let's just see what that is. That might be the word. I'm not sure, actually. So, whoops. Greek? That's Greek to me. Okay. Waves wild of the sea foaming out of their shame. Stars wandering, to whom the gloom of darkness to the age has been reserved. That's kind of what we just read in Enoch. So let's look at this word, though. Wandering. Planetes. Now we're getting somewhere. A wanderer. But let's look at what it says right here, a masculine noun derived from 4105 planeo, to wander. Let's look at that one because I think it's important to understand that this is deception. It comes up here. So to cause to wander, lead astray, deceive, cause to wander, go astray, get off course, to deviate from the correct path, roaming into error, wandering, be misled. Okay, now this is where this word comes from. Look at 4105 planeo is the root of the English term planet, wandering body. This term nearly always conveys the sin of roaming. Oh boy, you guys, like when you look at, I mean, what is it called? Is that etymology or what? I don't know. I gotta get all my ologies screwed up. Deceive, Strong's exhaustive concordance. Deceive, error, seduce, wander. Oh yeah, that's in 1 John. It's the word seduce comes up, and it's this same word. Roam, or cause to roam from safety, truth, or virtue. Have we roamed from the truth? I think a lot of us understand what we have. Go astray, deceive, err, seduce, wander, be out of the way. I think you get the idea. So our word planet is insinuates to, if you look at what the word actually, like, that the English term comes from, it's not a good, it's not going to describe something good. Deception isn't good. Okay, so let's see. Stop sharing. Or wait, let's see. Maybe I can just stay on this page and go to other. Yeah. Let's go back to Daniel 7 because we never looked at that yet. So remember the space shuttle that I was bringing that up, and the reason why is because I think Daniel saw it. So, like, yes, I'm saying that I think Daniel was shown from the other side of time, or not the other side, from outside of time. Peter Thin says, Joe, at your post, brother. Not sure. Oh, you just mean like, yeah. I haven't live streamed for a while. So, Daniel 7. This is the chapter that I almost want to just read this whole chapter without stopping. Yeah, that would take too long. It wouldn't, though. Okay, the space shuttle. I'll stick to that. So Daniel describes getting a vision or a dream on his head upon his bed or whatever. A dream in his head. Dreams and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. I'm just going to read it, guys. Up until we get to what he sees that seems like the space shuttle. But anyway, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. Okay, so that's not talking about the oceans or anything. Look at the four winds of heaven. Remember, they turn and bring the circumference of the sun and the stars to their side. The four winds of heaven are up in are heavenly or whatever. And they strove upon the great sea. There's waters above. There's a sea of glass at the foot of the throne. Like there's waters there. There is a great hanging sea, I think, in the Testament of Levi. It's all over the place. That there's waters up there. Dark waters and thick clouds of the skies in Psalm 18. But look what he says, and four great beasts came up from the sea. So to me, I don't really know how to grasp what that looks like, but they came up from he's talking about the heavenly waters. The four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Now this first one, this is crazy. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. So, wings, guys. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. So let's just think about this once. The space shuttle, it did like 135 missions or whatever, maybe somewhere around there. And remember the Challenger explosion, and they lost 7 astronauts. And then I think it was Endeavour on re-entry disintegrated and lost 7 astronauts, or maybe 7, I'm not sure. Anyway, the shuttle was retired in 2011. But just look at and think of how the shuttle. Let me get a picture of a space shuttle. Sorry, I'll have to stop sharing. And space shuttle. I just want to show you how it launches. I mean, it's weird. Images. Okay, let me get you guys on to my page again. Space shuttle. Okay. So when it was going to launch, this is how it launched. I guess I think everybody knows how it launched. Launched standing up like that. It had wings. So let me, you guys are seeing the shuttle there. Let me just read it again to you. Like, I don't know why it was like a lion, but it had eagle's wings. And I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. Maybe 2011? I don't know. And it was lifted up from the earth. That's probably a big deal. That's what that orange tank there, that's fuel. And then those 2 pointy things on the side, those are solid rocket boosters. They literally lift it up from the earth. And made stand upon feet as a man, and man's heart was given to it. I don't know. It's interesting anyway. Then he describes another one, and it sounds like it literally sounds like when the shuttle was retired, they still had the space station and they still had NASA astronauts, but how'd they get up there then? For 9 years or almost 10 years, they could only ride on a Russian Soyuz because that was the only thing that existed that was capable of carrying astronauts to the space station. And they still use it today, the Soyuz. But I don't know how long that'll be going. It's kind of, that whole thing's getting kind of shut down, and Elon Musk and SpaceX are kind of putting all that old stuff to rest pretty quick. It just, it's like a different world right now than it was then. But so Russian Soyuz, what if it was Russia's like a bear maybe? It says, I beheld another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. Man, I'm just gonna read you the stuff, but we're gonna go to the space shuttle page and we're gonna look up the Russian Soyuz. Because this is a vision he had, and so I've said this before. Like, let's say we were in a room, like a bunch of us were all in one room, and there was 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor, and there was one little window, and Shifty Eyes Shady is the only one in the room that could see out the window, because when Shifty Eyes is looking out the window's so small that no one else can see out the window. But we all want to see out the window, so we ask Shifty Eyes, "What's out there? What do you see?" And so Shifty Eyes is going to say, "Well, there's some trees. He's going to give us a description of the view, right?" So I think it's quite simple. That's what Daniel's doing. He's telling us what he's seeing. And you know, I don't know if this necessarily is, but Soyuz. Now, this is kind of interesting. Let's find the capsule. Let's look at the capsule really quick. Okay, I just want to Okay, these three little guys are packed in there like sardines, and they've done this like I don't know how many times with NASA astronauts and everything. And NASA astronauts for 9 years had to buy tickets for like 90 something $1 million or something for a seat for a trip up to the space station. So, like, let's find one with a NASA astronaut on it. I don't know. Okay, so do you guys see the picture though? I just want you to look at the picture when I read this. I don't know. Look at them guys. Could you ride in that thing? That'd be so scary. I'd be claustrophobic. They can't even move, and their knees are like right up. They're like I don't know what position that would be called, but they're like tucked into a ball. They can't even move their knees. I don't even know if they're human. I really don't. I think that they're not even humans. I think they play humans. They have a human form when they needed to, but they're actually devils. That's what I think. And I get these ideas from the Bible, the scriptures. Okay, so I'm going to read this second beast. It says, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Like I don't know why it says ribs. I don't know what that's talking about, but they said to it, arise. Doesn't that sound like, okay, hit the throttle? I don't know. I mean, just T minus 10, 9, 8. Like, I can just picture, like, this could clearly be something that, okay, so then he sees another one, like a leopard, had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. So I don't know, these beasts it just seems like we looked at Enoch 57, where he saw these men riding on these flying chariots that were super loud. Rocket launch. Oh, let's talk about SpaceX really quick. So they make fire come down from the sky with their rockets when they land them. And there's another video that Michelle Thaler did about landing rockets, because she's seen it a lot of times. And she said, your mind doesn't compute what your eyes are seeing because it doesn't look real, because it doesn't seem possible. So when it says this beast in Revelation, when it says this beast is making fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, it says, and deceiving them by the means of those miracles that he could do in the sight of the beast. So what I'm saying is landing rockets, is that actually a satanic miracle happening? Like from demonic or whatever? It could be argued that anything having to do with space exploration could be, probably is from the devil. An abyss of darkness. That's why that's why low Earth orbit, everything's falling at just the right speed around something else, like an orbit, to be in a state of free fall. But are they going where they think they're going? No, they think they're going into just some large, universe or whatever. That the solar system is just like a speck in this grand size of this universe, and that's not what the Bible describes at all. The Bible describes this darkness place as being a prison for evil spirits. Let's look at one other verse. Like Babylon. Okay, and this will actually get me in. This will get us into that channel I want to share with you guys, because it's a very unique situation that I've been watching kind of happen over the last few years by following this channel. This I don't want to. I'll show you the channel, but so Revelation, right? Is that where I was going? 18, Babylon. You guys, this something in here is interesting. Let's see. Look at this. Look what Babylon is. So an angel came down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So let's look at this verse in the Greek. I just want to show you that it's just a prison. It's just saying prison, prison, prison. Babylon the Great, and she has become a habitation of demons, and a prison of every spirit unclean, and a prison of every bird unclean, and a prison of every creature unclean, having been hated. Okay, it's a prison. Babylon is a prison for evil spirits. Or it's become that at Babylon the Great. So, we know where that place is. It's outer darkness. It's oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. Thank you for showing me that. Thank you. Let's see, video file. Let's I'm gonna just play some footage from NASA. Whoops, I'm gonna turn the sound off though. There's some interesting footage of that they took from the shuttle. A lot of people think that it's like them putting something under a microscope or whatever. But I would think it'd be foolish to think that NASA is not sending a space shuttle up into the sky. Whether or not the people are on it who knows? But I do know that, like, it's in that video we were watching, actually. Or no, it wasn't in that one. Sonic booms from the shuttle. Like, it would do a sonic boom, and that tons of people could hear it every time it came in. And all I'm saying is anything coming into the Earth like that makes a sonic boom. Like a meteor or a Falcon 9 or anything that's going that fast. It's going way faster than the sound can move. So it goes way in front of the sound, and the sound comes way later. So, Anthony says, what Trinity, like, what is your take on that? Whoops, I gotta hit play here, sorry. Oh, how do I turn the sound off? There we go. Okay, so this was back in 1996, but Anthony, I'm going to talk about this. Okay, what Trinity, like, what is your take on that? Trinity is a word. I think that for people, this is my opinion, this is the way I feel about it. I believe that God is in heaven on his throne, and that he has a son named Jesus or Yeshua or Yahusha or whatever name someone calls him, that they're on they're on their throne and he's on his father's throne. Okay, so there's almost like there's two right there, and then there's the Spirit of truth, or the Holy Spirit, or however we call that, or what it that proceeds from the Father. So it's like his Spirit that he sends out or something. So there are like three aspects that I just brought up. Whether a person calls that a Trinity is up to them. It could be called that, but I think that what's going on right now that I see on YouTube, and I see mostly on YouTube, is that there's like a debate whether there's a Trinity or not. And I think it's the entire thing, I think, is foolishness. It's a waste of thought and time and mind capacity, because I think that the people on the debate that are saying no, there's not a Trinity, there's all these phrases that get made up. Exactly, Anthony. You just said one of the phrases right there. Are they co-equal or no? That. Oops, I'm sorry. Are they co-equal or no? Think about this once. Are they sitting? Is there a father and a son on a throne in heaven, and there's a spirit that proceeds from that father, that goes wherever it goes? That's three. Do I know who makes who makes coffee for the other ones, or to me it's not even a conversation that people are having. Like, they could just go back and forth on all these small unrelated things to me, and they're both believing the same thing. They're believing in Yahweh, and that Yahweh sent his son that was a man, that was crucified and was resurrected, was raised from the dead, and then ascended into the sky. And then, like Stephen saw him sitting at the right hand of the Father. So I think the people on both sides of that debate are all believing the same thing. When it comes to, are they co-equal or no? I don't think there's an answer for that anywhere. I don't think that's like saying, are you saved or are you not? Who decides who's saved? Not us. Like, who knows who's saved? Not us. People are like, oh, you got to do this to be saved. You got to do this to be saved. No, I think it's simple. I think that anyone that calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. And that there's salvation in Mount Zion and in the kingdom that's coming, and seeking the truth. It's called the city of truth. I think this is something, it's called the grace of God. The grace of God, like Jesus, it says, grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. Now think about this. If we were born into a generation that had the wrong idea about everything. Now, I'm not saying that we necessarily do, but if you were born, if you're watching a story and the person in the story was born and the time that they were born, people had lost generation by generation of people had lost something that they had, some knowledge or something important that they had before, and this generation, that we're looking at was born in, and all that information that is truth and is right was gone. So that they're children and they're growing up in this whatever's there, the ideas that have become, and then it's not fair if you think about it. It's not fair for them. They haven't even got a chance to understand what the truth is. So I think that if someone showed them grace, that seems to fit. Like, if everyone was deceived and then Jesus came and said, hey, I'm going to show you guys the truth. And literally we're watching a miracle happen where the world is becoming aware of deception that we've all been under. So many things we could mention that we've believed the wrong thing. I mean, there's so many things. So it's like anytime I feel like I know something, I try to remind myself to remember that in a couple years I'll probably laugh at that. I'm always learning that I was wrong. That's like, usually I'm learning that I was wrong about something. That's how I know I was wrong about it, is because I learned it. Like I had to think it was right or whatever at one point, or think it was okay or something. And then I was like, no, that's not okay, or that's not right. That's not true. The earth isn't moving. Not the earth I live on. Maybe the one you live on is, but the one I live on is still all the time, unless there's like an earthquake, which I've never experienced, so I can't. It's always been still for me, never moved once. Did I believe a lie? That's for me to decide, I guess. I believed a lie. And currently I feel as if I've investigated that and used my senses that God gave me and my perceptions to reevaluate whether the earth was moving or not, rotating or whatever. Nope, it's not. That's the conclusion I've reached at this time. I've lived 46 years. I don't think that I'm going to be able to change back to thinking it's moving when it's so clearly not. So Franklin Watson says truth is not in tradition. That's a good statement there. Yeah, it's not in tradition, and it's also not popular, and it's hated. It's hated. Truth is hated. But Anthony, I got your comment up there. Sorry. But yeah, do you get what I'm saying, Anthony? I don't think that it's a legitimate debate happening. I don't. There's a few other ones that I think are going on that I just don't see any kind of relevance to them. Excuse me. I think it's much more important to like pay attention to what the prophets are. What are the prophets writing about? What are they telling us? I understand the ideas about the Trinity. Maybe it's important to you or something, or to and personally to a person that something that's important. It is important. Doesn't matter if I if they're having a debate. If I see people all over having this debate, and I just every time because I do watch these people, like I learn from people that I don't agree with. I learn a lot from them, but I'm always paying attention to what other people are talking about, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't understand why these guys are having this debate. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's like if there's something outside of our knowledge, like that. I mean, can you tell me how many hairs are on God's head? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, can you tell the potter to shape you a little bit differently? And like there's all sorts of things that if we're looking at it wrong, we can be like discounting the way that God made things, you know? What is one, Anthony, can you describe what oneness is? Because I hear all these phrases, but I think I understand what the Trinity doctrine is, but is oneness, is that where three, because when people say three persons, that bothers me so much, because the Bible's always pretty specific. There's God, and there I have seen some points where people say they do make some legitimate points, but it doesn't seem to go either way on whether or not the Trinity. It says it is an impossibility to understand the Scriptures if we follow the Trinity oneness doctrine. And I like in Isaiah, I know it says, I'm the only God, and I'm the only Savior. And that's why I say it's a silly debate, because Jesus said, I and my Father are one. If you've seen the Father, you've seen me, or if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Like, in some kind of sense, Jesus says that they're one. But in another sense, he's the Son of God, and he clearly knows that he is the Son of God. When in Matthew 7 or John 17, he prayed to his Father in heaven. He prayed to his God. In Revelation, he says, the city of my God. So Jesus has a God when he's here on the earth. And when he's in heaven, I don't know if he calls him his God, but he's his Father. So I think all of people in this world can have a Father in heaven, and do, but I think a lot of people just reject the Father in heaven, or I mean, the idea that is our true Father, and we can become sons of God, but not. We have to be born again. We have to, because the way we're born in this world is different, and we're born with we we get a prize at the end of our or at the beginning of our life. We get a prize, and that's what is it? A sinful nature or whatever. We commit crimes against God in this life. Everyone does, and so there's like a separation there, but we can reject that sense of ourselves, like put that to death, and we can become born of His Spirit, like because yeah, they call it the lust of the flesh, and then there's the Spirit. It's like they don't like to dwell together, like you know what I'm saying. So if you become a son of God, you start changing. You start changing your the things you want change, and the things you're interested in change. And it's not you that's doing it; it's the Spirit of God. It's showing you probably what God's will is. But I think it's like it's like with being a child, and being a toddler, learning to speak and learning to how to get dressed, and learning some of the things that toddlers learn, but in a different, like a spiritual sense, like learning some of that, these how to be a grown up, not of the world or whatever. I don't know. I'm not very good at describing things like that. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I guess I see we know that there's a Father in heaven, and that He has a Son, and I think, yeah, He sent His Son here to save us. How's that? Because like when the wages of sin is death, so when we enter into this world through our mother's womb, we are given the prize of death. At some point we get to die. Every man, it's appointed for every man to die. So that's going to be the prize. I'm not saying it's a prize, but that's just something that comes along with being born. So if you realize it while you're in this world, you can prepare yourself for a different world that is to come. And that's where the Son of God comes in. That's His world. He rules and reigns it there. Which reminds me, I have the subscribe button sitting up there. Make sure you subscribe. I'm like one of those guys. I'm like, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah. Click the like. It helps the algorithm. I'm just kidding. So I want to read you. We were in Daniel 7 looking at some of those beasts. I don't want to get specific because I'm winding it down, but I wanted to just show you what happened in this vision. So let's see, where was it? Okay, I saw in the night vision. This is verse 13, and I'm not going to screen share. I'm just going to read it. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. See right there, that's the Son and the Father, right? I see the Son and the Father right there. The Son of Man and the Ancient of Days. And they brought Him near before Him, and there was given Him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve Him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. His kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed. So all these other kingdoms that are being built to as a transgression against and a sin against God, which is anybody trying to go up into the heavens, these are all going to be destroyed. But the Son of Man, His kingdom will never be destroyed. It will be forever. So that I love that. But one of the things that's said in here, I'm just going to read a couple of verses. So let's see. 21. Now just, he saw these horns and oh boy. Oh, so he says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. And it actually says that the saints take his dominion away. Where is that? Let's see. Oh yeah, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. These aren't earthly kings. These aren't men that this is talking about. They look like horns. That's what Daniel's testimony said. They look like horns. He's calling them horns. And it says these horns are kings. So when I see the SpaceX Dragon, like, part of me says, well, that could be one of the kings. Like, there's 10 kings that out of this kingdom, and that shall arise. I mean, what does the word arise mean? And he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. NASA lies, space is fake. You guys see that happening? I see that kingdom be these kingdoms that are trying to blaspheme God's sanctuary, like they're trying to go into God's temple and sanctuary, into the holy city. They're trying to tread underfoot New Jerusalem. That's the city that comes down out of heaven. They're trying to go up there. They're trying to lay siege on the city. And like Jesus said, when you see armies compassed around Jerusalem, know that the time is near, or the desolation thereof is nigh. Like, I'm just saying, there's people trying to go up to where New Jerusalem is. Elon Musk, SpaceX, all these companies. So now we're going to get to, I'm going to get to share this channel with you. There's a guy, I think the first channel that I ever saw him on was, that he had, was called Cloud Liquor. Like that, yeah, like it sounds, Cloud Liquor, like licking the clouds, like that. And I was wondering, I kind of knew why it was Cloud Liquor, because he, this is a few years ago, and I'm gonna open up his channel. So he became kind of quickly kind of popular, because he started a different channel called Space Eccentric. And I'm going to show you that channel, and I'm going to show you the power of the testimony of Jesus. It's pretty cool. That's why I was saying it was unique. Whoops, I can't type. ENT. I'm not spelling it right. Oh, there we go. Okay. Space Eccentric YouTube. This guy's name is Kevin. He seems like, I don't know him or anything, but he seems like a really pretty cool dude. Let me get you on the screen. And then I'm going to drop some links. Because I think I'm going to... Okay, Space Eccentric. Now, this guy, a few years ago, he was invited to like do a demo, like I don't know what it was. Maybe we can find it here. Yeah, we can find it right here. I'm sure it's on this channel. So he did a talk at somewhere with Scott Manley, who's like another kind of famous space guy. Man, he's got videos. So he does like a update show, like I don't know what you'd call it. You can see that he's like kind of reporting, SpaceX in the news. That's what it is. That's what he does. SpaceX in the news. And so he's always, he knows about all this stuff. He knows about it. He actually went and met Elon Musk at Boca Chica in Texas asked him a question like on like during their whatever the presentation thing. He makes videos. But a few years ago, he did a talk, and I'm gonna find it here. Or I don't know if it was a live. Oh, I can. Can I just search his channel? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Scott Manley. I'm just seeing if I can find it. It probably doesn't matter. I don't have to show it to you. But what he said, he did a presentation, and I watched it. It was about space and all this stuff. But at the very end, he said something that really caught my attention that made me start following the guy. Like made me start kind of being interested in what he was saying or whatever. His name's Kevin Haymeyer, maybe I think. Let's see here. 2 more links. I just want to. Okay, Cloud Liquor. Where's his? He has another channel that's just his name. And he does Bible study, right? And oh, here, let me just look. I have right now on my phone. I was watching it. Why did God plant the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Yeah, if you go to, I can maybe get a link, or maybe someone in the chat can get a link. If the channel is called Kevin Haymeyer, and it's Hehmeyer, and I'm really impressed with this guy. I think that he's very perceptive, and he is. When you have a light to shine, and it's like you don't hide it under a bushel. Remember that song? Let it shine, let it shine. But that's a concept I see happening for Kevin. He's popular among many atheists. I'm just saying it bluntly. And he put a video on his channel like a week ago, I think. And he stuck his neck out for Jesus. And I didn't know that he was convicted like this. But look at this. Let me just show you. He does. This is a 6-minute video, 5-minute video, 2:42. They're around 5 minutes, 6, 7, right in there. He does. He's just reporting on what happens in space, aerospace, whatever industry, and mostly about SpaceX. He mostly talks about SpaceX. But look at this video right here, and it's like a documentary that he made. Now, I don't think you'll be able to hear the sound anyway because I don't know how to do that. But I'm going to drop a link for this. I want you guys to watch this video. It is, let's see how long it is. It is 53 minutes long. So that's Kevin on the left. There's Everyday Astronaut on the right. So he's in that crowd. Like, I'm just saying he's a popular guy in that crowd. And he makes a video talking about the Starship and the gateway to Mars. And he tells it like it is, guys. Now, there's one thing that I think that who knows what a person... I'm not trying to ever say what someone else believes, but I think he's under the impression that the Earth is a globe. But I don't think that that matters necessarily the way this guy's seeing things. Like, I think that it becomes... Put it this way. He is seeing space as real, and orbits are real, and all that stuff as legitimately real, okay? But he also, at the same moment, sees it to be the Tower of Babel in a more extreme and like worse manner. And he talks about the first time was destroyed with water, the second time's fire. So get your fire detectors prepared. Like, it's a great video, you guys. Copy this, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I'll also I'm gonna put it in. I think I can put it in the or I'll pin the comment. I'll put links to his channels once this is over. I'll in the comments of this video. Because okay, the link I'm spamming in there right now is just the same link 3 times or something. It is to the video, Cosmic Countdown, Starship and the Unveiling of Apocalypse Prophecies. Now, when I saw that he put this video up, it gave me like that good feeling, like that I'm not entirely crazy. Because this is actually a pretty powerful testimony. He's got 165,000 subscribers, it looks like. But this is 9 days ago. It's got 34,000 views. And people are pretty harsh in the comments to him. But of course, there's me. I put John 18:37, and I said, "You rock, Kevin." Maybe he got rid of the negative comments, which I think he should. Some like he's popular in a group of people that don't believe. They actively kind of don't believe in God. Like if you go to watch any live stream on like NASA's Spaceflight channel or space.com or any of those, if there's a live stream, you can't talk about the Bible. You'll be kicked if you talk about the Bible. You'll be kicked if you talk about God. Not that they'll just ignore you. You'll be kicked. Like they'll block you off the channel. So that's what all I'm saying is they even have words you can't say. And there are lots of words that we like to talk about. So I just think that if you watch this video, I think you'll be able to see that it's just another example of how Jesus can show somebody something that goes against everything they believe, and then they see it as truth though because they learned it from God. So then they're like, what do I do now? So he obviously put months of time into making this documentary, and it's done really well, and he covers all the bases, I think, that are important. So who knows? But if he ever watches this video, I think it's awesome what he has done making this. And I know that it's not easy to do this. But the reason why I started paying attention to him was at the end of this presentation he did about space or whatever, he made a comment. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he made a comment that caught my attention. I'm like, oh, I need to follow this guy. He said, no matter what, all this happens and everything, no matter what, he goes, there's always something that's important to do that I try to do. And he's like, I try to get in the Word of God and kind of hold value in that. And like he mentioned that in this space thing, like he was doing a presentation like in front of a bunch of people. And I was like, wow, that took guts to say that. And I said, and there's a reason why he said it. So I wanted to follow him. So yeah, go. I'll put a bunch of links to he has a few channels, but like this other channel that's just his name. He's only got 598 subscribers on it, but I'm halfway through the video he uploaded today, and it's awesome. It's awesome. He's like teaching or whatever. He's like got a bunch of verses up on a monitor, and what I can see in the videos, I see like 6 people are in front of the camera, they're sitting there they're all like older than him. They're like gray-haired people, and he's like kind of looking younger, but they're glued to what he's saying. Yeah, you have to check out his channel. So that's the channel I wanted to share. Is actually his name, Kevin Haymeyer. But I'll put all the links in the pinned comment. so you guys can check it out, because it's always fun to see changes. It's fun to see when someone is basically forced by God into doing what God said, or like if you get called by God to do something, that who defines what's right? God does. So you just like you, if you know you're being called to do something, it's like when you do it, it doesn't matter what comes with it. And I'm just seeing this happen with Kevin. So because he just put this documentary out, and it kind of it kind of goes in the face of a lot of the people that are his followers or whatever. But yeah, I think he's a pretty cool guy, I think. But let's see. Let's look at one other video. Short video. And then I'm going to end the stream. So thanks, guys, for checking it out. And yeah, have a good one. And we'll see you next time.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.